What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo and welcome back to a brand new video. So today I figured I would take the little idea that I had a while ago, I might have mentioned it at the end of one of my videos, and I thought I'd slap that shit into action. So today I figured we're going to talk about what does Xavvo think about Modern Warfare 2? What does he want to see in this game? And what does he want to see return in this game? And yes, I'm not really a COD guru. I really want to make that abundantly clear. I think anyone who watches my channel enough to be more smarter than me, you'd probably have already picked the holes in my channel at this point, and you probably have already noticed that I'm not actually that smart. I just pretty much observe the game for so long that I just think, oh, okay, I know how this works, I'll make a video on it. Like, you know, I'm really no COD guru, and I mean, I think I'm doing well. I've been playing the game since 2017, you know, the franchise, sorry, so yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm fairly somewhat knowledgeable of a COD game after so long, because I'm probably only one of the people in my friend group who will actually sit on COD so religiously and play it every day, so I guess there's that. But I figured we'll talk about Modern Warfare. What do I want to see in this beautiful spectacle of a game, Modern Warfare 2? So I think the first thing we're going to need to see with this game is already obvious. I want to see Modern Warfare 2019's gameplay, but improved upon. Now, of course, that me saying that isn't exactly very descriptive enough. So let me try and explain. Basically, we already have it under the belt. In other words, I don't need to explain myself. Just go and watch all the gameplay reveals for Modern Warfare 2. I think we've already got that one sorted. So I'm already happy about that, okay? Big happy boy. I'm full of joy when I saw that the gameplay looks the same, but it's just improved upon. I mean, there might be some small graphical improvements, like shine and rendering and shaders, I suppose. I don't know if you would call it shaders in a game other than Minecraft, but you know, basically I think there probably will be some improvements, maybe some like special effects that have been improved upon, and water especially is a huge part of this game, which is really fucking cool. Can I just say that? But I never had a problem with Modern Warfare 2019's gameplay. I thought that was one of the best fundamentally working games that existed. Of course, there was bugs to begin with that game, but Modern Warfare 2019 had the best looks, the best movement, the best shooting, the best guns. It literally just everything in that game was perfect. And not to forget the fantastic storyline. And of course, if we're getting a follow-up game, well, the storyline, which I would want to be good, it's likely going to be good, let's be honest. It's Modern Warfare 2, it's a follow-up from 2019, it's got the same characters, it's got some different characters, you know, it's basically a follow-up, so, like, of course, I think we've got all that knuckled down, all the story and the gameplay. That's awesome. So as long as the gameplay is as good looking as before, and it just has the same feeling, but everything's faster, I am so much for it. Like, you honestly don't understand. And I think people take these COD games that came prior to Modern Warfare 2 for granted. You know, they think, oh yeah, they're just a filler COD that came out for like a year or two that nobody really will care about in the future. No, but I think there are some takeaways from these games. Of course, Modern Warfare 2018 had the best engine that any COD had seen. We saw a step down in Black Ops Cold War, but we also noticed that in Black Ops Cold War, they had focused on making the gameplay fast, because Modern Warfare 2018 had been widely argued over its slow gameplay that promoted camping, and it had extremely large maps. Black Ops Cold War gave that kind of OG classic feeling back to all the old school COD players, because the maps were mostly free lane. They were very small, I suppose, in size, and of course, you also had the feeling that it was very arcadey and quick, and people liked that the most in Call of Duty. So because of that, that was also carried on into Vanguard, and I think it's probably going to carry on into the foreseeable future, because apparently slow and realistic doesn't do it for most people. For me, I didn't care about how slow Modern Warfare 2018 was. I just hated that I was stuck at 80 field of view. And I'll get onto that, actually, more about field of view after this. But basically, we saw that Cold War had set a different standard for speed, for, you know, respawn time and whatnot, which generally improved the the pacing of the game. So Vanguard did the same thing. We also saw that despite the general downgrade in quality, Cold War actually received some higher effects, higher quality effects to like water and shine and lighting and all sorts of really cool features like that. So I think that also carried on a little bit into Vanguard, and I think that's also something that is going to be a hyper focus of the future for gaming in general, just seeing a general step up in quality of water, textures, and lighting, which is really, really good, and of course, you know, shadows and whatnot. So, but one thing I generally disliked about Black Ops Cold War and Vanguard that Modern Warfare 2019 did perfectly was visibility. Now, we're not talking about the colors of the map and all that good stuff. Of course, Vanguard was a much more colored and improved upon World War II game from the COD World War II that I started playing, which was in 2017. And of course, Black Ops Cold War, generally a very colorful arcadey game. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about player visibility. That was one of the worst step downs that we noticed after Modern Warfare 2019, because what we noticed is characters became harder to notice in general at longer distances. It also became that because the graphics were generally not that crazy, they would just blend in a lot of the time regardless of how close they were to you. Another major problem was just generally that when they were in corners, you couldn't see them because of how dark certain corners would be of the map. That was a major problem with Vanguard at the start of the year, with like the whole Christmas map. I think that was probably one of the most horrific planning anyone has ever done for a Christmas map. Like Shipmas was a great map, don't get me wrong, but there was so much dark spots with very little lighting that it made it so easy for people to just hide in the shadows. And I hope we don't see a problem like that with Modern Warfare 2. I think we already kind of have a little trailer thing that came out the other day where they showed a little section of gameplay for multiplayer, the first ever bit we've had for multiplayer, because so far it's only really been campaign gameplay for Modern Warfare 2. They actually showed some sort of gameplay for multiplayer and it looks fucking awesome. Can I just say that again? And one of the things they went into is how this new map that they're working on is, or they have worked on, is kind of got like the shoot house feeling in the middle for anyone who wants to play that kind of playstyle, but around the rest of the map, it's like you're playing around the warehouse, and it's like very free lane, and it's very good just for generally keeping things simplistic. And I think one of the great things they touched up on in that trailer or that video was working on vegetation, trying to make the map as realistic as possible, whilst also making it as best experience as possible for players, because we don't want people hiding in the fucking corners where you can literally not see them. And they have made sure with this new card that they are going to get that thing knuckled perfectly, nail on their head, which is really, really good and promising to hear. I just hope all the maps that are coming out for Modern Warfare 2 are visible. There's nowhere people can hide and camp. I hope visibility in general and the color of everything pops, like Black Ops 4, for example. Black Ops 4 did that wonderfully. If you didn't play Black Ops 4, just watch some of my streams, I guess, on my archive channel and whatnot, but, you know, or watch any other people's gameplay. Black Ops 4, players stood out so visibly, like, I can't tell you, unless it was on a dark map, you could still sort of see, like, the red lights flaring off their suits, but other than that, like, on any other normal map, they popped out, but for some reason, I don't know why, over these recent years, it's not improved, it's gotten worse, so hopefully that improves, of course, as well. And coming back to Field of View, something that I really want to see with this game that Modern Warfare 2018 didn't manage for console players is Field of View. Can we get a Field of View slider? I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure it's kind of like standard at this point. We've had it in Cold War. That was the first COD on console to introduce it, so that was one of the great qualities, I'd say, of Cold War. It was the first COD to bring Field of View to console, and I guess it's quite a hard thing to bring rendering at that sort of standard to console because it's always been a PC thing, but they did it in Vanguard, and I'm supposing with this COD they're going to do it as well, and that should also mean with Warzone 2, I think we'll have a Field of View slider on console, and that will be absolutely brilliant. So, you know, that's good. I really want to have a Field of View slider because Modern Warfare 2018 would have been so much more enjoyable for console players if they had a field of view slider, because you're literally stuck at 80. That's the default. You can't select a different one on console, whilst all the PC sweats got the unfair advantage of seeing far further in their peripherals than a console player, which, yes, field of view is not just an aesthetical sort of advantage, guys, for anyone who's not too familiar. Field of view physically increases the stretch of your screen because you're seeing more inside your peripherals. It's not just the screen that you're already seeing just being stretched into fucking hyper beams or some shit. You do generally get some improvements in visibility, and you get some advantages over other players who don't use it. So I do think they should definitely have field of view in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 2022, sorry. Whichever way you want to put it, they definitely need a field of view slider. And, okay, so now that being said, we've got the quality sort of labeled and jotted down. We've got the improvements in graphics over Modern Warfare 2018. Movement, I hope that stays the same somewhat. Now, I did hear they're actually getting rid of slide cancelling. Now, I could see this as an improvement and also a down improvement, or I guess a bad thing, because one of the iconic parts of Modern Warfare was its movement, and for that, it was the slide cancelling. People loved that you could sort of keep sliding and stopping as you're going around corners. It kind of added to the stealthy feeling, but I suppose it has its toxic sort of disadvantages. You know, people literally spamming the living shit out of slide cancel, and of course, it probably just slows down the game as well, trying to do that. It's not fun for most people. So I think, obviously, that minus the whole slide cancelling that's not going to be in the next game, I think as long as the movement is just like it, that's good. We've got that down. I'm pretty sure they've improved some other stuff, so they've kind of got a better animated sway and other stuff like that when you're moving, which is really cool. I really hope to see inspects coming into the game pretty quickly. I mean, considering they said they had the alpha done in January this year, which is crazy. Never mind September, they had it in January done, the alpha. So I hope to see that we have inspects already. Just as soon as the game comes out, we have inspects. I cannot tell you how important this is for content creators who are producing thumbnails or reviewing camos. We need inspects. We really do. We don't want to have to wait as long as Vanguard, like we're talking the majority of the game's life cycle, just so we can inspect the fucking gun. Like, come on, we spent all that time getting our camos, can we not at least inspect them? Like, seriously, Modern Warfare 2, please have inspects in the game ASAP. That would be brilliant. Even if it's not in as soon as possible and we just have to shoot and reload. Hopefully it comes into the game, if anything, after a month. Because there shouldn't be any excuses with this game. This game's had about 4 to 5 years of development. And it's been ready for a long time. So I hope that that's already in there. And aside all the gameplay and whatnot, you know, the general graphics and movement, one of the great things I really want to see is them taking advantage of water. We already know that they're having water missions in campaign. I hope a lot of the maps that have water on them, you can actually swim around the sides of the map and stuff like that. We've seen that with Black Ops 4. We've probably seen it with previous Black Ops games, like Black Ops 3. I mean, I don't know. I've not played those ones, but I'm pretty sure they might have had that feature. I don't know. Correct me where I'm wrong. But I hope we see, like, water being used in multiplayer to some capacity, you know, being able to swim. That would be really cool. And now let's get on to what I want to see return. So, first, I'm going to cover kill streaks. I really do not, I mean, I really do not want to see the Wheelson in this game. I really don't. I don't know if they probably will, because it's technically sort of modern day, so they might just add the Wheelson in again. But honestly, that shit got on my nerves. It was easy for anybody to get, and the worst part was, it was literally a tank with wheels just running around the fucking map, just blasting everybody. And it's just, honestly, it's not fun for camo grinding, having a Wheelson up your ass 24/7. So I really don't want to see the Wheelson in this game. Some people will probably be sad that I said that, but, you know, the Wheelson, as dinky as it is, I really don't want to see it in the next COD game. The only thing that was fun about the Wheelson was actually jumping on it and getting a boost around the map, which was pretty funny. But, yeah, I do not want to see that in the game. The VTOL jet, I actually do want to see this return. Now, some people are going to find that controversial, that I'd want the Wheelson not in the game, which is half as bad, and the VTOL that literally just shoots everyone across the map and stays in the sky for like a good 2-3 minutes unless someone takes it down. Like, yeah, I get it. The VTOL can be quite annoying, but generally the VTOL is one of the best qualities of Modern Warfare 2018. I actually enjoy getting the VTOL. It's satisfying. It's a very rewarding sort of kill streak, and I guess in general, again, it takes about 8 kills to get it, so most noobs that are dying after 5 kills aren't going to get it anyway. I just really want to see the VTOL in because it was just such a cool sort of quality that came to Modern Warfare 2019. As for the rest of the kill streaks, I don't really care too much. All I want to know is why the fuck does everyone target me with cruise missiles slash glide bombs, whichever one you know it as from whichever card. I have always been a victim to this shit every single fucking time I'm in a game. Someone calls it in, I'm just like, it's gonna hit me. And it happens. So, I mean, at this point, I'm going off the rails. This has got nothing to do with what I want to see in the game. But I just hope in this game that this curse that I have just lifts. I really hope people stop attacking me 24/7 with cruise missiles. That would be brilliant. But that aside, let's get back to what I want to see in this. Of course, we're already seeing loads of returning characters. But something I really, really want to see with this game, and I know it's a COD 2.0, so it's like a new era for Call of Duty, and it's a new clean slate. Something I really want to see is camo crossovers. I'm talking like old Modern Warfare camos, Vanguard camos, all of them that you can select on any weapon you want. And let's say it's at the expense of unlocking some sort of prestige key or some shit. Like, you know, sort of like to stop people from just getting it from the previous games. It's sort of, you know, there's sort of an expense of the fact that it's on a different weapon. We have to pay some, like, prestige coins to use it, because that alone is better than not having it at all. You can say that that's not fair, that you're having to pay prestige coins or prestige keys to select a camo you earn. But let's be honest, it's either that or you don't have the fucking camo at all. You know, I really just want to see old camos transfer into this game, because I think there's going to be lots of similar guns that they'll work on. And of course, we've already seen from camo unlock tools that there is no exceptions. Camos can work on any gun from any of the games, regardless of which game it came from. So they are perfectly capable of doing that. And I think with this being the best graphically improved engine, it's the best, the latest one, I think most of the camos will work pretty damn well, and we already see that in Warzone. Considering Warzone shares the same engine as Modern Warfare 2018, we've already seen that camos can work on almost every gun and look pretty much the same as they did in their normal game. And sometimes they do look a bit weird, but they usually get improved anyway. So yeah, I think that would be a pretty cool feature, just having crossovers of camos, even if it doesn't really work for the time era, you know, like having Atomic on an MP5 because it's from Vanguard. Who cares? It's an animated camo. It never made sense in Vanguard to begin with. I mean, who cares, right? Just have that crossover, because we've had this before in all the cards from what I've heard, where when you went into the new Black Ops 2 or you went into the next Modern Warfare, you could see people's previous prestige scores and other stuff from previous cards and their favorite calling cards and shit like that. Why don't we get that with camos with this game? I think that would be absolutely amazing. And aside from that, I really want to say, I hope, in terms of guns, I hope we see a return, especially, obviously, we're going to see MP5 and stuff like that. But some of the guns that I think highlighted Modern Warfare 2018 that I really want to see come back to the game, for example, are the Odin. I really love the Odin. It's surprisingly very, very good, considering the fact that I was playing the game in the first year or so, and I didn't think anything of it until I selected it one day, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. I also want to see the M4 return in this game, the M4A1, for that matter. It might be called the M417. I don't know what the fuck they want to call it next, but hopefully they bring that one back. I definitely want to see the AS Val make a return, and even if we don't get the AS Val, I really do actually want to see the Grau return. That was an amazing assault rifle. I think we're also seeing that the CX-9 is making a return. I think we've seen that in the campaign gameplay, so that's really cool. And I know this is going to be a controversial one. I want to see the 725 return, because as overpowered as it was so fucking fun to use. Even if they tone it down a bit, as long as it's in this next game, I'll have a lot of fun using that from time to time. Not going to abuse it at all, but, you know, that would be cool. I also want to see the AX-50 return. That's an amazing sniper. I do not want to see the Dragunov return, because the Dragunov was fucking terrible. They might even just add it in and just rename it as they do, but I really hope they don't. The Dragunov is fucking ass. I don't know what else to say after that. I think mostly I want to see those return into the game, because they were really fun, and maybe even I hope they maybe return another SMG. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But that's what I have to say in terms of weapons. I just hope those weapons return to Modern Warfare 2. And yeah, so we've covered weapons, graphics, movement, visibility. I mean, visibility technically comes under graphics, but, you know, I'm talking separately about player visibility. Water, you know, taking advantage of water features. Character returns, we're already seeing that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say for that. So that's all the things that I want to see return in Modern Warfare 2. Of course, I just hope the campaign is very enticing. It looks fantastic so far. And I think it's going to be a great 2 years or 3 years for Call of Duty. I'm really excited for Modern Warfare 2. I just hope the camo grind in general is going to be very fun. But yeah, so other than that, thank you everyone for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash a like on this video. It really means a lot. It goes a long way. It lets me know that you guys enjoy the video, and it lets YouTube know the video is enjoyed by the audience. And if you've watched this far without skipping any parts of the video, be sure to comment down below, sick, because this game is going to be sick. Let's get it. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.